Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast, episode 89. And basically, what we're doing is podcast twice a week. One of them will be an OG podcast where we basically chat about our week and then we go through your questions, just like we used to do on Zoom. And then the second one will basically be
more relaxed.
Yeah, more
sit down, even though we're sat down.
Content based. We've decided what we're going to chat about beforehand, or we've come up with something based on what you guys have asked. So, like, if you guys have asked us a really good question and we think, oh, we can make a longer podcast out of that, or we've made a note of it. We've got like a really long list on our notes of topics we want to go through. So, do you want to go through what today's episode's about, mate?
3 best and 3 worst.
Of what? 3 best and 3 worst?
Yeah, 3 best, 3 worst of everything. Exercises, that's what we're going with. I was kind of waiting for you to kind of jump in, but yeah.
That's all right.
So, we're pretty much going to go...
Free situation.
Yeah, we're going to go body part to body part, and we're going to pretty much say our 3 best exercises and 3 worst. Now, I feel like what would have actually been quite good if we maybe like jotted them down. And
no, we're just going off.
No, we just kind of went, right, 1 for you, and I go, wait, you have that? But
yeah,
that wouldn't be a bad idea. But I think for now, we'll just literally just go through it.
Yeah.
We'll kind of come to somewhat of an agreement. There's probably going to be some disagreement, but then at the same time, we do think similar. This is where I feel like a guest is actually quite good because they have a different sort. We train.
Well,
the same.
why don't we choose them like in our head? Say one each.
Yeah.
Like, and sort of we can basically debate them from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So
we're going to
start off.
Bottom up or top
bottom
down?
up. Let's say so. Calves. So we've got
Calves.
seated, standing.
There isn't going to be
and the toe press.
Worst exercise.
Yeah. So I feel like calves we can skip. So we've got hamstrings. So let's say hamstrings and quads. So we'll start off hamstrings a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So already I'm thinking about 3 exercises. Are we? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I've got my 3.
Okay.
So
I've got my 3.
okay. Do you want me to start off? So I'm going to say. I've only thought about 3 best. So 3 best.
Are we choosing machines as well? We can chat about machines as well.
Yeah. I've thought movement pattern, then machine.
Okay.
So movement pattern number 1, a hip hinge. I'm going to go for a stiff leg deadlift.
Are you doing these in order of best to worst?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So that's my first one.
So if you only had one option to train hamstrings, would actually like, would you do a hip hinge?
Yeah, I'd say so. In the sense of bang for your buck efficiency. I'm not going to say it's the best hamstring exercise in the sense of direct solely hamstring. But I'm going to say bang for our buck, efficiency, and also enjoyment, I'd choose a hip hinge. So I'd go for a stiff leg deadlift. However, I also think an RDL would be pretty, I feel it would be fantastic.
Okay.
So that'd be my number 1, in the sense of my first one that pops up in my head, 'cause it's the biggest one as well.
So my number 1 would be a seated hamstring curl.
Okay, what seated hamstring curl would you go for?
Probably the Cyvex Eagle version 2.
Okay, yeah.
Reason being, obviously, it trains through knee flexion, which a hinge doesn't. A hinge trains through hip extension.
But could we not argue, if we're trying to get the short-term range of the hamstring, which we would be with an isolation, especially with how the session would be labelled out, do you prefer to do a line?
No, because I'm not trying to get the shortened.
You're trying to get lengthened, so you try to do it. Okay, fair.
No,
so why, if you're trying to get the lengthened or mid-range, why aren't you doing a hip hinge instead?
No, I'm not trying to just get one of
Finn, this isn't working.
Yeah, so I was saying, seated hamstring curl, and then Reece was saying, well, why wouldn't you want to let the line hamstring curl for the shortened range? The reason that I'm putting isolation in there isn't to just target the shortened range. That's not the goal of an isolation movement. So the reason that I would have a seated hamstring curl would be that you can create a lot of stability. Injury risk is lower than doing a hip hinge. Hip hinge is going to incorporate more. If we're looking at in isolation, like I would. My second exercise, by the way, would be a stiff leg deadlift. Okay. But if we're looking at it in isolation of the hamstrings, I would do a seated hamstring curl. The reason I do a seated hamstring curl over a prone hamstring curl is that generally you can create a bit more stability, and it is going to be a little bit more challenging through the lengthened range, which is what I would want if I was looking at in isolation, one versus the other. I would rather have a seated because we're going to be stronger in that lengthened range. There's going to be more hypertrophic potential in that mid to lengthened range. So I would rather have a seated rather than a lying. Again, it depends on when you're going to put it in the session and so on and so forth. But if we're looking at it in isolation, like best versus worst, or what would be better, seated hamstring curl.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, that segues perfectly into my second one, seated hamstring curl. I'd choose a different machine. I'd do a live fitness or a prime. That's what I'd go with.
Okay, my second one will be a stiff leg deadlift. Maybe even, it's a little bit controversial. Maybe, depending on the individual, maybe from a deficit.
Okay. What about a dumbbell RDL?
Yeah,
I think a dumbbell RDL is a pretty... I didn't think about that. But I think if I'm going off strictly internal feel, I'm going to get a
if
real
we're
good
looking
feel.
at 3 exercises, then
Yeah.
I would say a stiff leg and an RDL.
Yeah, I'd say actually a good shout, because I'm not a massive fan of lying.
I don't think a prone hamstring curl needs to be in there. I don't think
No.
a kneeling hamstring curl needs to be in there.
No.
I don't think a Nordic hamstring curl needs to be in
So
there.
these are the worst. So if we're going into the worst...
We can chat about the worst.
Yeah, well, we had 3 best, 3 worst, didn't we? So
Okay.
3 worst hamstring exercises. I think a Nordic, other than... From an injury prevention standpoint, the amount of stuff that I did...
A lot of
uni-wise,
research, yeah.
I remember you told me about it, and I was like, okay, because I had an assignment, and you were like, oh yeah, look at Nordic hamstring curls, there's so much data out there, and there's a stupid amount. It's probably the most researched exercise from a performance standpoint. So for sports performance, if you're a
Remember when
footballer...
we did them in lockdown?
Yeah.
We did them with the
but
reverse
like
band.
in like an actual practical hypertrophic setting of trying to grow muscle, which I'm guessing most people are here for.
Yeah,
they're a bit-
right, Nordic,
they're a
then,
bit
one of the worst.
Yeah, Nordic would be one of the worst from a hypertrophy perspective.
Sam, if you can maybe clip this up and put like best and worst.
Yeah, that'd be really
cool.
good. Yeah, that'd be good.
What
else have we got?
I don't know if we can put a prone. I would actually, let's say.
Yeah, I'm
let's
not a
say
massive fan.
No, I'm not going to put it in the worst because it's not a bad exercise.
No, but it is.
I think a kneeling.
A kneeling. Okay.
I like it. I like the
But
actual internal feel.
The standing hamstring curl at warehouse, like the Watson single leg standing,
Standing
I
on
thought,
kneeling.
yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd
it
have
was
that over
pretty
a lying.
good, but yeah, I wouldn't.
Wouldn't you?
I
Yeah, I prefer. I
it's
quite
just.
like.
I think. I know what you mean. Like
the internal.
I think
feel,
that the question is: are we talking about personal experience, or are we talking about?
I think it's a bit of both.
actual
I
sort of-
think it's a bit of both. This is a chilled out sort of approach. It's not. I don't want it to be so structured regarding everything.
No, but I think if we were to break it down and compare a prone versus a standing, a prone wins every time.
A prone does win, yeah, but I personally would prefer to do...
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Depends on the prone. There's some really nice. The Nautilus is a really nice one. The Nautilus
Can we just
Nitro.
say, we need 2 options. Can we just say a prone and a lion? Awful. But they're
Prone
not.
and lion?
Yeah, prone and
Standing. I don't know, what other hamstring exercises are there?
Well, we've got we could 45-degree hyper.
I'll tell you what, right? This is one I used to use with clients in Pure Gym. If the seated hamstring curl or the prone hamstring curl was in use.
Mm-hmm.
So you get either an exercise ball, like a big big exercise ball, or you go onto the rower.
Mm-hmm.
You put your heels on the rower or the exercise ball.
Yeah.
You lift your hips up and you perform a hamstring curl like that. Now it's hard, right? It's very hard.
Yeah, it's awkward. Yeah.
And it was good as an alternative, and clients were like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in the worst exercise.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's rowing machine hamstring curl
rowing machine
in the worst.
That's hamstrings ticked off. We could, to be fair, because like a banded hamstring curl. That's the thing you've got to realise.
Yeah, but we can't say everything.
Yeah.
So, in terms of actual exercises,
Quads. Let's move on.
Okay.
We're going to take up we need to actually be efficient with this because we've only gone through one muscle group. Quads. 3 best, 3 worst. Okay.
Okay.
Best. I'm just going to start off. You start off if you want. I'm going to say. Are you going to say a leg extension?
Yeah, but I don't know if we were to have just one exercise in there, I'd probably if I was to look at it as just one exercise for the rest of my life on quads, I'd probably said before like a leg press, like maybe like a pivot leg press, kind of squat press or a hip press.
Yeah. Cybex squat press.
Yeah, but yeah, I think if we're looking at just isolating the quads, then a leg extension it makes the most sense in terms of targeting all 4 heads in the shortened range.
I think this can be pretty simple. Like it doesn't really have to be where we're thinking too much about the first 3. It can literally be a leg extension. It can be a squat variant and a leg press.
What leg extension would you use?
Prime pin loaded.
What leg press would you use?
Cybex squat press. But I will say that depends on what we're using. I feel like if you were to ask me every 6 months, it's probably going to change. Like based on what we use. The Cybex squat press is lovely. And then squat variant, I'd probably say we've only had 1 rotation. I reckon that Jim Lecco pendulum, the Jim Lecco pendulum, genuinely was probably like the best. Was probably the best squat variant I've done. Or you know what? And this sounds again like that belt squat that we've used at Premier. Is that a bad shout? I wouldn't say a belt squat. I'd say if it was someone who was mechanically built for squatting, like a Cybex hack
or a Smith machine squat.
Yeah, a Smith machine.
Again, this is all dependent on what you've got available.
Yeah.
So if we were looking at like if you didn't have much available, Smith machine squat can't go wrong really. Any kind of leg press can't really go wrong. any kind of leg extension.
Can I rapid fire the 3 worst?
Phew. That's
Yes,
me.
bless
Yeah.
you, Finley. Okay, so I'm going to go barbell squat, a vertical leg press, and a facing at the actual a V squat where you're not facing away, like a regular
Yeah,
a V
it's
squat.
not even a quad
how
movement,
it's
it's a
intended,
glute movement.
a V squat how it's intended to be done.
used.
Yeah, which is
They're
horrendous.
good. They're good answers.
That's my 3 rapid fire.
The vertical leg press. Sorry, yeah, great answer.
Yeah.
The
Awful.
V squat facing out. Yeah, that's correct. That's
Yeah.
awful. Barbell back squat.
That's correct. So we're coming to this is 100%
The worst
objective.
exercise.
There's no thought process here. 100% confirmed. Yeah.
Barbell back squat. I would have to say no because I think it depends on the individual.
Yeah, I think
You can't say that that's a bad quad exercise.
I personally would say for most it will be, in the sense of lower backs will fatigue, quads are going to get probably less out of it in comparison to other squat variants.
Yeah,
But I don't think can you grow a good set of quads doing a barbell squat? Yeah, 100%.
yeah, there are better options.
But I do think there are better alternatives for
Surely
most
there's
people.
other really bad quad exercises that people do.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I feel like it's more so just awful execution.
Yeah.
Like, if you would say, like, what's the worst thing you've ever seen on quads, it's probably like someone
About-
throwing a leg extension.
Oh, what about like a sissy squat?
Sissy squat?
Yeah,
It's
good.
actually a good
Yeah,
exercise.
but I just think like load and
Yeah, it depends
mechanics
how are you looking at a sissy squat? Are you looking at one with a machine locked in, or are you looking at like a free weight one?
I'm
You know,
imagining
people on
like,
the
you know, the
toes
video
and
of
going,
like Tom Platz with like a 10 kilo barbell above him, over him, and he's like doing 100 reps and doing drop sets, and it's like you should be better off doing something else. Like, who am I to talk like Tom Platz in comparison to me? Like, fair enough, Tom Platz.
I think a
sorry.
sissy squat is a good exercise, but I know what you mean in terms
Yeah.
of loading potential.
I don't think it's a bad
Weight.
exercise. Like, I don't think a barbell squat. I think a V squat as it's intended.
I tell you what, front squat.
Okay, yeah, good shout. Yeah, that's a real good squat. Way worse.
Ball ache. Most people
Painful.
are going to get more out of the quads on a back squat anyway in terms of
Gonna be
biomechanics.
battered.
It's awful.
Yeah.
If you've ever tried a front squat, you'll know it's nobody likes a front squat.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone go, "Oh, I really like front squats."
Yeah, it's
Or, I'm
like,
really
front
good at
squats
front
are brutal.
squats."
The only people that enjoy them is because they're really hard.
They're horrible.
And yeah, they're brutal. Right, that's it. Quads done, lower body done.
Mhm.
Glute.
Yeah, good.
No, we're not doing glutes. Like
Here we are. Glutes, a good one.
3 worst. Okay,
No,
so
the 3 best.
okay, 3 best. So hip hinge.
Yeah,
We've got
I would say.
hip extension. Glute drive.
Yeah, but I mean, what if we're looking at a specific hip hinge? I would say probably
An RDL.
an RDL.
Yeah, I'd say an RDL. I remember watching a Jeff Nippard video when I was like 17, and it was like the motor unit recruitment is a lot higher.
Well, it makes
An
sense
RDL
in
for
terms
glutes.
of the range, and
Yeah, and
you're
you get-
staying more in the active range of the glutes. Like.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say RDL. Then like the booty builder I've never used.
Boot builder's good. I would actually say.
the Nautilus hip drive. I've only ever really
No.
done the Nautilus hip drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in there.
Yeah.
I would say a 45-degree hip extension, or a glute ham raise. Like, I know they're quite different, but they're kind of similar. Like, if I was to choose one, I'd probably say, just from ease of use, a 45-degree hip extension, and then I would say a Smith machine.
I've got the best one for the one of the worst.
Is it going to be kickbacks on the stairmaster?
No.
Yeah, I would say like a Smith machine glute bridge kind of exercise. If we're looking at it from a hip thrust versus glute bridge, even if it's just like the terminology, like generally for me, like I would class it as a hip thrust. I kind of class them as the same thing. The only what I class as the difference would be that you've got your back on the floor for a glute bridge.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, what the difference people would class as the difference between a glute bridge and a hip thrust would be the range of motion, the total range. So like people would generally say, right, a hip thrust, you're coming all the way down, your knees, your shins are travelling backwards. I wouldn't recommend that anyway in terms of staying in that active range of the glutes. And more often than not, you'll notice that if your knees, your shins start to travel back, you start feeling your quads fire up. So basically, hip thrust / glute bridge, range of motion, keep it within the active range of the glutes, keep the shins either vertical or perpendicular to the platform that you're using. But I would probably say...
Perpendicular. Lovely word.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I'd probably say a Smith machine, hip thrust / glute bridge,
Yeah.
rather than a machine glute bridge or hip thrust. I find it's easier to set up, and for most people, they'll get a better connection.
Okay.
But some Smith machines don't go all the way down.
Is that 2 that we said or 3?
Well, we've said an RDL, we've said a Smith machine glute bridge,
Yeah.
and we've said a hip extension. So the
Okay.
top, they're the best 3.
Okay, 3 worst.
Abductor machine.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah. Can I intersect with what I was going to say? You know when you see females do the assisted pull-up, single leg?
Oh, mate, yeah.
Awful exercise.
Yeah.
It's such a bad exercise. You see them like bringing the leg all the way
And
up.
the whole body's moving.
Yeah, it's awful. Absolutely shocking.
Yeah, that's good. So
yeah.
what would that be? Assisted pull
Assisted
up, kick
pull
down.
up. Yeah, assisted pull up, kick down, good glute kick down. Oh, awful.
And then to be fair, I would say, and it's not, I wouldn't even say it's a bad exercise, but I'd say it's badly executed and it's done. Oh, actually, I'm going to say another one. I was going to say glute kickback, but I'm going to say a cable pull through.
Oh yeah, shocking.
It just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
really, really bad. Okay.
That's quite a good one. I told you we should
Yeah,
have done
glutes was good.
Glutes is a good one because
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad exercises that people think are good exercises.
Yeah,
for
and I
glutes.
feel like if we were to go onto TikTok and type in like glute workout, we'd see some.
we'd enjoy that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we'd really enjoy it. It'd be awful. It'd be so
Should we stop the
horrendous.
podcast and do that?
Yeah, right. Catch you in a second, guys. Let's do some research. God.
Right. Abs? Abs, I think it's decent. So
Okay.
I would say, I'd say a cable ab crunch.
Yeah.
I'd say a good machine ab crunch, like the Nautilus one that we absolutely love.
Yeah,
The gym dog.
The gym dog Nautilus one. That's funny. No one finds that funny, Barbara. Because it's just
You never know,
yeah,
right.
it's a really good ab crunch that we used at one gym. That whenever Finn has clients, he programs it. And when we were there, we
I
were
got a
both
guy
like,
apply from Northern Ireland again.
really, you were like,
in his
he
application,
doesn't train there, but you're like, you must do.
you've got to travel. It's 2 hours.
2 hours where you have to
No,
use
in
this
his
ab crunch.
application he put, because I have like, why did you apply?
Yeah, yeah.
It said social media, and then it put, and your client base in Northern Ireland.
Sick.
So shout out to the boys in NI.
NI. Yeah,
NI.
so, yeah, and then machine ab crunch.
Cable ab crunch as
Yeah,
well.
cable ab crunch. Yeah, I
And
think
then an ab coaster.
ab coaster. Yeah, for those lower abs, bruh.
Yeah, Atlantis ab coaster is
Yeah,
really
the
good.
one at the hashtag back is really good.
What am I saying? Hashtag.
Yeah, other than that, I think they're pretty naff. Like most ab coasters are pretty naff, but that one's pretty decent, I think. And then worst. Okay.
I've got
what
a good
about
one for worst.
you're hanging and you get someone punching you? So that's got to be one, surely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your training partner to punch your abs while hanging.
That's what it's called, yeah. Get your
right.
training fans punch your abs, make sure you put that in there, Sam.
Yeah.
Look that down.
That's that one.
You know what I've got?
Okay.
I think you'll agree with this. Cable rotation.
Yeah. Okay.
So arms out. I just think
what's it? Wood chops.
wood chops. Yeah. Well, wood chops would be a different angle.
Three sets of 10
Three
wood chops.
sets straight across, three sets high to low, three sets low to high.
What else have we got that's just a shoddy exercise?
And what do you reckon to planks? I quite like planks.
I don't
for
mind a
TBA.
plank. I don't want a plank. Oh, I think plank should be in the middle. Like,
Yeah,
in the
I'm not
middle,
saying it's
not,
bad.
It's not bad. It's not good. It's like in the middle.
I would even class vacuums as an ab exercise in the middle.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh well, no, come on, man. We've got like mountain climbs and stuff like that. Like
Yeah, mountain climbers, ab rollouts.
yeah,
I remember when I've got a post on my Instagram. I did an ab rollout standing up and then lying down, came back up.
fair enough.
And it was quite good. I remember posting it, being like, "Oh god, I'm cool."
Yeah, crunch. Crunch is awful.
What do you mean a crunch?
It's like a line crunch.
Nah, I don't think that's bad.
I think it's
It's better than a lot.
Yeah, it's better than a lot, but it's at least going through some.
I think that's
actual,
what I think.
yeah,
There's.
flexion.
I think the punching the abs,
Yeah, just the abs is so fast. I feel like that could just be all three, like just the ab punch. Yeah.
ab rollout, and cable wood choppers or cable
Yeah.
rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Right. Moving up. Chest. What are we doing?
Moved quite high up there. We're not doing
Don't do
any
back?
erectors.
No, I think
We'll
we should
let's just do.
specify back, posterior.
Ooh, I don't- No, let's do back and
Thick
then
back thickness
back
and then
thickness
back
and back width.
Right, so back thickness.
No, let's do like
No, I feel like we could actually just break it down.
upper
to
back
like,
and then lats.
Yeah, upper back and then lats. Fair enough.
Erectors, we're not going to do.
No. Well, yeah, no, don't worry about that. We'll just do let's do lats on
Let's-
their
let's
own.
do
and then
lats.
The rest of the back, so lats.
I think
Okay,
it's
so
quite a good
best.
one.
Yeah, I reckon this is going to be fairly similar, I'd imagine. So I'm going to go for two single arm. We'll go for a single arm pull down, like a chest supported, like high to low pull down, and then I'm going to go
Not
for a
just supported really, like braced.
yeah, but like a single arm pull down
Yeah.
where literally you can just brace against something. I say chest supported, but like
Yeah,
something to brace against. And then I'm going to go literally where I'm bringing the cable down from a high point to a medium-ish point, maybe a slightly upward trajectory, but just a single arm cable, like chest supported row, or something to brace against row.
Would you rather have a cable or would you rather have a machine?
I think it depends. Like
I've never ever used a pull down machine that is as good as a cable.
Yeah, we said this actually. Do you remember when we were at Rotherham, and I think it was the pull session that we did before I got surgery, and we started off with a single arm pull down when we deadlifted, and you were like, and we both were like, do you want to do a machine? And you were like, get a better connection on the cable. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like let's just do a cable.
Even
And I
in
think we
Rotherham
did.
when there's loads,
Yeah.
like a single arm pull down is better than the gym shot pull down. A single arm cable pull down is better than the Nautilus pull down.
Yeah, we did that single arm plate loaded row. Do you remember that we had
The gym
like
shot.
7-8 plates? And
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, I'd rather just use a cable.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the gym shot row and pull down are really nice, and they do drop off nicely in the short.
Yeah.
So like later on in the session, I think they're good. But generally, I don't think you can go wrong with a cable. Just
No.
you can align it exactly to how you want. So
yeah, for simplicity and setup, like you sound.
I do like that DY row.
The
And
Dorian
the trajectory is nice for the
Dorian
upper
Yates one.
lats. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're
Let's
going
say
for
single arm pull down. I think is definitely in there. I
100%.
think single arm row. I think there's an argument for using a machine row
yeah.
instead
But regardless, the movement pattern
of a
stays
single arm row.
consistent.
Yeah.
And then we're going for one more. So what would you be going for
For
lats?
lats.
Because I feel like you've ticked off everything you need there.
Yeah, but I would probably have something that's going to be because they don't. Obviously, you can be strong on a single arm pull down, single arm row, but they're not really loading
Well, do you
the
remember
lat heavily in
do
the
you remember
length.
the Brightman video where it was like, oh yeah, T-bar row is going to be more lats? Do you remember that? video?
Yeah, I
we
remember
were
getting
like,
slated for
yeah.
it.
And he was like backing up, he backed himself up into a corner. He was like, no, it's
I
100%.
don't
How is it
remember
not?
it. I don't
Yeah,
really
he put
watch
like
it.
a video defending it, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is painful.
The only thing I'd say is single arm pull down, single arm row. They don't really challenge the lats in the length that much. So I think a machine row that challenges the lats more, like a prime row
Yeah,
that you can load in the mid to length and you can sort of angle the torso forward and drag in, or even like doing that on any kind of machine row because it's usually like hammer strength single arm row where it drops off in the short. Like that would be a
Yeah.
bad idea. But I think a dual arm lat bias row.
yeah. Even like, let's say on a low road, you're going to get a good amount of upper back.
Yeah.
But in that lengthened, you're still going to get a good amount of
definitely.
lats. So, yeah, okay. And then 3 worst. Dumbbell pullover,
Dumbbell pullover. I'd even say
a machine pullover. I was going to say a wank machine pullover, I have said it, I don't care.
a bleep.
A bleep pullover. A horrendous machine pullover is so awkward.
Yeah, a lot of them are
Shoulders,
bad
joints,
as well.
Yeah, most of them. You'll rarely ever like
Get a
find
really
one
good.
that feels really good. And if it does feel good, it will probably feel awful for someone else. Like they have to be built perfectly to you, and unfortunately, not many are.
Would you put a single arm dumbbell rowing?
I think that's a good shout. Yeah.
It's one of those. I
It's
like
an
the
enjoyable
exercise.
though. Yeah, like when we did them in lockdown, they were good for
I think I really like it as an
Yeah.
exercise, but it's not a good exercise looking at it when you break it down.
Yeah, but
But-
you could argue a barbell bent over or a dumbbell bent over row isn't good.
yeah, exactly.
And we've done them and we program them. you
Yeah,
know?
but again, it's like this is kind of a clickbait podcast / video. Is like best and worst because
Yeah.
we don't really use that kind of terminology. But obviously, there are some awful exercises. But in
Yeah.
terms of like best exercises, like more often than not, you've got to have some more context behind it.
Yeah.
So like again, like a barbell row, is it a bad exercise? Well, it depends on what you're comparing it to. It depends on the individual. It
Now,
depends on
yeah,
the
buddy
execution. Now, yeah, buddy row
Yeah.
is the best exercise in the
Yeah.
world. We're coming on to upper back soon.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, buddy row just targets everywhere. We need to do
Yeah.
everywhere at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, worst exercise for that. So let's put a single arm dumbbell row in there. Like I just think
Yeah.
in terms of like the actual profile of the movement, it's very very easy in the length and where
Yeah.
we're stronger.
And then we've got a dumbbell pullover and a machine pullover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else that highlights?
I think single arm hammer strength ISO pull down is poor. I think machine pull downs are generally relatively poor. It depends. Like again, if it's got the gym shot one is nice. Even the Nautilus one's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think the hammer strength ones I think is massively overrated.
Alright, mid, upper back. So
Yeah, buddy row.
yeah, buddy row, 100%. Best exercise. Best and worst. Go on into everything. It could be the best and worst. Okay.
I
so,
would say
yeah, like a mid back row.
a chest supported row.
Chest
Simple as
supported row,
that. A chest
prime-
supported
prime
upper back row, whether
yeah,
it be prime, whether it be cable.
low row, cable row.
Yeah.
Even just a regular non-chest supported cable row, I think is a really good exercise. Like
Yeah.
it's one of them. Like it's just a good exercise. Like you
Depends
get a
on
lot
how you
out of it.
execute it.
Yeah, true.
I would say an upper back focus pull down.
Yeah,
Maybe even a pull up.
I personally wouldn't have that in my top 3 based off my connection with an upper back pull down. I've never thought, okay, this is amazing, but
No.
I can see the warrant and the benefit to it. Like, I can get it, but I don't like it myself.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if we were looking at 3 best exercises,
You'd want to be
they're going to be
thinking
very similar.
horizontal plane, vertical plane, and then like a top of exercise that you just, I enjoy that. You know.
You could, well, we're not going to do rear delts on their own, are we?
No.
So you could argue like a rear delt fly. 'cause
Well,
it's
I'd probably say like maybe a low row, a potential medium prime row, and then a pull down, like an upper back pull down.
yeah, I think
pull down.
yeah, I think that works well. I think either a low row or like a chest supported dumbbell row,
Yeah.
because that places you into that kind of plane of motion anyway.
Yeah.
Some form of mid to, well, it's still, a low row is going to be a mid to upper back row, but you're going to get a bit more elevation, a bit more trap involvement than a row that's more so sort of driving back and slightly down more,
Yeah.
which might be like a hammer strength row, or potentially even like a
The prime extreme row, bro.
the prime extreme row, or even the prime row, just the prime
Yeah.
seated row.
Yeah, yeah. And then worst, we've got cable face pull. Surely.
Yeah, but is that upper back or rear delt? Are we doing rear
Yeah, I'm
delt?
saying upper back on that.
So we could put delts all together, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Side and rear delt.
I'm going to say
together.
cable face pull. It's just an awful exercise, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's not great.
you'd be better off just doing like an actual rear delt emphasised
Rear
row or
delt fly.
upper back row or a fly. I feel like it's one of them where because of the movement pattern, you can't really go
What would
that
you say
wrong.
about pull-ups? Would you put them into lat? Would you put them into upper back? What would you put them
Yeah.
into? Would you put them as good or bad?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just in the middle. Like, I'm not a hater of pull-ups, but I think they're suboptimal in training situations. But we've done them; they're enjoyable. Like, you can load up, and they're quite good fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of them. It's in the middle. I feel like we need to be a bit more cutthroat with this. Like a pull-up, when you look at everything in relation to a gym, I think you could argue they're pretty naff. They're not the best.
Yeah, there's better options out there.
Yeah.
Again, if you've not got a lot of
But I
equipment,
don't want to put
pull-up's
the pull-up.
very
I
good.
don't want to put the pull-up in the worst because I don't think it's an awful exercise.
No, I think the worst, like you say, any variation of a pullover,
Yeah.
especially a dumbbell variation, a machine variation is not usually great. A cable variation can generally be pretty good. So a dumbbell machine pullover, a face pull,
Yeah.
and then what else have we said? An awful yeah buddy row. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, an awful body row. Pressing, chest. Best till last, bro. Not really.
We got traps. We got delts.
Yeah, we got. Well, I think we could probably. We're not going to do.
Traps was kind of included in back.
Yeah, but I feel like. Yeah, anyway, we're kind of just chatting. So, chest. We've got 3 best, 3 worst. I'm trying to think. I've already got a good idea. But again, we've got movement patterns. So, for best, let's say I personally like a medium incline Smith.
We have crossed over with movement patterns a lot.
Yeah, it's been hard to really differentiate between them. I think though, if we're thinking best, I'd argue that you'd probably want something to converge. So I'd say like an Atlantis incline press with a slight, because it doesn't converge massively, but there's definitely some level where it converges. So I'd say like that would be one. So I'd say a medium incline press with a slight converge, or a Smith where you potentially could reverse band it and you could just manipulate the banding profile, or you don't have to band it at all, but you could reverse band. I then think, so that would be my number one I'd probably go with. But again, that's like, it's very hard to just say one.
A mid-incline press that
Yeah.
you get on well with.
Yeah, whether that's an Atlantis, whether that's a Prime, whether that's, let's say,
Smith,
a hamstrung
dumbbell
even, you know, yeah, dumbbell. Yeah, I'd say
Probably dumbbell.
we've answered everything there, but it's a movement pattern. I think chest is one of those, it is just simply a movement pattern.
Yeah, but if we're looking at exercises, let's
Okay.
say, just for ease, a mid-incline Smith, let's say that's number one.
Would you go with a cable press?
I
I
would-
think you could argue a cable press is really, really good.
It is
You can
really
set it
good,
up
yeah.
differently. If the cable was unlimited with load, I think I choose a cable press and it was easy to get into.
Yeah.
But my initial impression was no. And then I thought about it and I was like,
It's just difficult to stabilise.
yeah.
Whereas a Smith is stabilised for you, a
Yeah.
machine press is stabilised for you.
Mm.
That's the only thing with a cable. Like, it's just not quite as
Yeah.
stable as you want it to be, especially as you get stronger at it.
Yeah.
If you're doing like an 8 repper on it and you're quite strong, it's
Anything
shaking from rep
less
1.
than like an 8 rapper on a cable.
Yeah, it
press
just
is
feels
brutal.
awful. That's why I said 8. I was going to say, if you do a 4, no one's doing a 4 repper on a cable press. If you are, your pec is gone.
Conrad has done like a 4 rapper on them before.
Conrad, this is
Yeah.
not you. This
Yeah.
is not my
Conrad
Conrad. This is
Butcher.
Reece's
I
Conrad.
remember him sending me like a 4 rep cable chest press, and I was like, firstly, I said to him, I'm impressed you've managed 4
Yeah.
reps. Secondly, why are you doing 4
So would
reps?
you have a cable chest press or a fly?
If we're looking at movement patterns, because again, this is hard, I would personally be going mid-incline Smith or mid-incline machine press, cable press, and then like probably a cuffed fly, or just a fly in general, like a cable fly.
Got a spanner in the works for you.
Okay, what's the spanner?
Dips.
Yeah, it's a good exercise, isn't it? is a very good exercise. Tricep compound.
Yeah, a lot through the chest.
Yeah, a lot through the chest.
Decline.
Yeah. You know what?
Sold you.
You sold me. Dip is in.
I would have dips in.
Yeah.
Or a dip machine.
Yeah.
I would have a mid-incline Smith as number 1, and then I would have.
Would you have what, a mid-incline Smith? So that would be.
Yeah, I think I would. Just to keep it simple,
okay.
Because you can't really. At least I get on well with it. You can't really go wrong with it.
I got on well with it, other than now.
Yeah.
Other than with my back.
Mid-incline Smith, and then cable press and dips. They're the top 3. Best 3.
Cool. Worst 3.
Worst 3, I'd say a plate press.
Yeah, plate press. I don't want to say a push-up. Push-ups are sad.
I think dumbbell flies.
Yeah, dumbbell fly. Dumbbell fly popped in my head when we said chest.
They're obviously
I
profile,
don't think you need to explain them.
but
Dumbbell fly is awful.
They just don't feel good. There's no challenge in the short when you want to get a good squeeze. You're not getting a good squeeze. Yeah, the challenge.
Oh yeah, you can. You can just tense your chest. And people think, the connection is easy.
It drops off.
No, it's awful. The second that dumbbell is in line with your shoulder, there's no load on the chest. It's just through your joints. But people think, I'm tensing my chest hard. There's no load.
Might as well just do it without the dumbbells.
Yeah, literally.
So what we got: dumbbell fly, a plate press, which I have used. I used to do
that. Yeah. I feel like we've all done something like that.
Oh,
I remember
cross body.
Oh yeah, awful.
To be fair,
I remember, mate.
It's not a bad exercise.
You know what?
I don't think that's
Smith. When I was like 15, I got a V-bar.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, and then
it was popular for like a few weeks. I did that. Yeah,
I did that when I was younger.
V-bar on the Smith.
Yeah, V-bar on the Smith, lying sideways. Oh, amazing connection in the chest. Yeah, single.
No, I think that's not actually that bad if you've not got any other option to converge. Because you can't really get the pec short otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not a good exercise, but I don't think it has to be in the bad.
Is there like a machine or something that we're just like, why the hell would you ever decide to do that? There's surely one chest exercise that we're just like, what would you do that for?
I bet there'll be ones people going, this, and people will be thinking, and we're like,
yeah.
People will be screaming now. Listening in.
We've not mentioned a barbell bench press, but I think that's again in the middle. You could argue mechanically it's not amazing, but again, it's one of those.
Let's put in the crossbody.
Yeah, crossbody single arm press. Okay, fair enough. Delts. Okay.
Are we just doing side delts and rear delts, or are we doing delts on that?
I think we just do delts.
All the delts.
Yeah, on a whole, and it'd be similar to chest in the sense of you've got. So, I've already got one of my worst. I'm going to go straight away with the worst. Like a standing barbell overhead press. Awful exercise. Yeah. Awful exercise.
I'd say a front raise as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's awful, but I just don't think it's really warranted.
I think there's an argument for it to be awful. Like the profile, shocking.
Yeah.
The internal feel, shocking. The amount of momentum that most likely you utilise, shocking.
Yeah,
but
that's all based on you using dumbbells.
Yeah, but even if you were to do a cable, like mechanical tension relative to a press, like why would you even think about it? Like a side raise, you can understand because you're not going to be able to press laterally, and just start doing a press. Yeah, so
we're doing the worst ones first.
Yeah, so front raise, 100%.
Standing
barbell, OHP, and then let's say like a shoddy, rear delt dumbbell fly.
Didn't we?
Rear delt fly.
I think a rear delt dumbbell fly can be good. Rear delt swings, I like them.
Yeah,
I think they can be quite good. There must be worse delt exercises out there.
Oh, Arnold press.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good shout.
Happy with that.
I was going to say an upright row. What do you reckon to upright row?
Pretty down.
It's not as bad as an Arnold press.
Arnold press.
Yeah. Arnold press is the third one.
Oh,
maybe the first one.
Yeah, that's a word. I
don't know. It's not as bad as a standing barbell.
I'd argue it. Mate, imagine doing that now. I feel like me and you could do a barbell overhead press and be like, okay, it's pretty shoddy. Our backs are ruined, but mate, doing this with a dumbbell, my shoulders are like, just doing that now, body weight.
Yeah, but you just can only do no one's doing more than like 20 kilos.
You're hitting all three heads of the delt, bro. I feel like we should have segued this with we should have thought about what did all the old school bodybuilders do, and why do we not do them now? Like the pullovers.
We should do work for them.
Yeah, exactly. Best for delts, so
cable lateral,
100%.
Any form, single arm or crucifix, lying, standing.
If you choose one, what are you going for? Single arm?
Yeah.
I'd personally do a cable lying based on the fact that I always get a bit of scapular kind of not like an insufficient ability to stabilise. But whenever I do a single arm, my left side is always noticeably a little bit less tight through the scap. And I think that's just how I'm built.
I struggle with lying.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes I feel a bit lopsided.
I feel like just having my scap in that kind of like say position where I've already got stability through the bench helps me. So that would be my one for like, that would be my lateral raise if I was to pick one. But single arm cable sound.
It's hard to pick a shoulder press.
Yeah.
High incline Smith, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, high incline Smith, I think is a good shout.
I was going to say like high incline dumbbell. I tell you what, dumbbell shoulder press could go in the worst.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair,
you like it as a good one, but I think in terms of kicking the dumbbells up,
I only like it because, and for most, it's just because I can use the dumbbells at the gym. Like I like it, because I'm too strong to do a dumbbell like low incline press at most gyms. No, I am. Like I just use the heaviest dumbbells. I do more. I like it because I can tick off that dumbbell press. But when it comes to the actual efficiency of the dumbbell shoulder press, I'm not going to be a massive fan. Yeah,
getting them up, it's boring.
Yeah, it is boring.
I won't put it in the worst, but I don't think it's a good one.
I think that's lower tier. It's definitely not middle. It's lower than that.
We'll have to do a tier list.
That's on one of them. Anyone else?
So yeah, high incline Smith, or would you say a specific shoulder press? Like, is there a shoulder press machine that you think's really good?
Atlantis shoulder press is alright. The gym shot one's good. Cybex shoulder press, really good, but we've just rinsed that. I feel like we've just buried that into the ground.
Yeah, it is good though.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, we'd probably say that.
Yeah, I'd probably If I was to choose, I'd choose that over a Smith.
Yeah.
But I would still have a Smith for everyday purpose if it's a good Smith. But it has to be a good Smith.
Well, if we're looking at best, then I'd say we said obviously a cable lateral.
Yep.
A high incline Smith, or basically a high incline press.
Yeah.
And then I would probably say some form of rear delt row.
Yeah, like a rear delt prominent row. I'd say that.
Machine based, maybe single arm across the body.
Yeah. Are we doing traps?
Can do, yeah. Buddy row is best.
Yeah, buddy row for traps. What's the worst? I mean, farmers carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, farmers carries. Like buddy, like 5 plate shrug.
A lying down shrug on the cable. Where you actually lay back.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You shrug.
Yeah.
I can go into worse.
Okay. I feel like that's pretty much it for traps.
Yeah.
Arms now.
Neck.
Yeah, no, what about arms? Biceps, triceps. Yeah, the plate extension or whatever. Yeah.
Strap your head
biceps.
into the cable.
Biceps and triceps. 3 best, 3 worst. Let's go.
Single arm preacher curl.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Facing away cable curl.
Yeah. Bayesian cable curl.
Bayesian cable curl, love that.
And then probably like an easy bar cable curl.
I'd probably go like a rope cable curl. I quite like the.
Yeah, I don't know, I'd probably go a dumbbell hammer curl if we're going to go with a neutral
maybe like a
grip,
single arm. I'm trying to think. Trying to tick off all boxes. I'd probably go something with
That's
more
the thing. See, we're not thinking
focus.
of best exercise. We're thinking of like
efficiency,
most optimal.
Yeah,
and
efficiency
everything
of how
off.
things are. 3 worst biceps. Like a stand, like one of them.
Yeah, it's not a great exercise, but I don't think it's awful. I say a barbell curl, a straight barbell curl, a strict curl.
Oh, awful. My wrists.
Yeah,
brutal.
I'd say a straight barbell curl. I would probably say a spider curl.
Yeah.
Don't think they're great.
What about like a Smith? Have you seen those Smith like curl shrug, like those Smith drags?
Smith.
Like
drag curl.
Drag curl.
On Smith. I'm not saying on Smith.
You ever seen that? No, I've seen people do that before.
I think that's when you see people are trying to do an upright row.
Yeah, maybe.
They've got a supinated grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say a barbell curl. I mean, spider curl is not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah.
I feel like there's other. Again, it's just poorly executed. People throwing dumbbells about, doing like a dumbbell curl, like a hammer curl.
Triceps, the worst. Instantly, tricep dumbbell kickback.
Yeah.
Awful exercise.
Don't
Absolutely awful. Like the worst exercise. I'm so glad I haven't done them since I remember doing them when I was like 14 or 15. I just remember thinking that's awful. I knew instantly it was shocking.
You know what I think? I think they feel good. But the reason that they feel good, and this is a theory, and I don't think it's a theory, I think it's pretty much...
It's a game
physiology.
Physiology,
no?
No, it's like it's a game theory, it's a meme, I think. I don't know, maybe not.
Drink that away from the mic. This isn't a theory, but this is basically what I say to clients, is that, when a client says to you, like, oh mate, this RDL doesn't feel like I'm getting loads out of my hamstrings, like seated hamstring curl, I get loads out of it, or prone hamstring curl, I feel my hamstrings so much. connect so much more with my hamstring on a prone ham than a seated ham.
Yeah.
The reason behind that is that it loads it in the shortened range. So when you're squeezing,
Yeah.
it's hardest.
Yeah.
So if it's hardest when you're squeezing, you're going to feel it more. So
Yeah.
the reason you feel a preacher curl more in your bicep than you do a dumbbell hammer curl or a behind the body like Bayesian curl, behind the body curl, is because it's challenging when it's short or when it's contracted.
Yeah.
So if you imagine
like
now,
the untrained mind when you're not even understanding mechanics, like
When
you're
you're not
thinking,
even-
oh, I need to flex here. It's hard when I flex, therefore it's
exactly.
good
If
exercise.
you think now, if I put my arm behind my body, can I feel my bicep now?
No.
Not really. I can feel it stretch a little bit,
Yeah.
but not really. If I do this, and like my bicep cramps within a second because it's fully short. I've flexed and then I've flexed through the shoulder.
Bicep cramps taurine, but
It did, honestly, it did cramp straight away.
Hydromax.
How many grams of taurine? 1 to 3 grams a day.
Yeah, it depends really. Hydromax, mate.
Hydromax, yeah, I can't use
I've got
that.
You
Can't
know?
use that. Sponsored by CMP.
Oh, okay. Fair
Links
enough.
are in the bio. Links are in the description for both. Lads.
Yeah, Hydromax used it now because I used it too much plan.
But yeah, anyway, basically, like if you're in a fully shortened position and the greatest challenge is there on the exercise, you're going to feel it more
Yeah.
than you would when the challenge is in the lengthened position. So a tricep kickback feels great through the tricep. Oh, I get a really good squeeze. Yeah, of course you do, because the challenge is greatest in the shortened range.
Yeah.
But we're actually stronger in the lengthened range, so it's not a good exercise, although you feel it a lot. And often that's the case. Like
Yeah.
exercise that you feel, oh, I get a really good squeeze there. Probably not a good exercise. Plate press, oh, I get a really good squeeze. It's not a good exercise. It's just that you're getting your pecs fully short and you're squeezing your chest.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's a good exercise because you feel a good squeeze.
Yeah. So for triceps, I'm going to go for a close grip Smith for good.
See, I wouldn't. I think a lot of people have issues with that.
No, I'm
Like,
just saying bang for buck. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good
not my
exercise.
number one. Single arm cable tricep
Can we
extension.
put dips in?
I've already got it, so that's
Yeah.
fine. I would have put a dip over a close grip still.
Yeah, I
But
would.
yeah, I'd go single arm cable extension, cable push down. Then I'd go for a single arm cable overhead, and then I'd probably
Single arm
go.
crossface.
Yeah, literally the Coach Kasim
Yeah,
curl,
crossface
curl,
extension.
extension. That's what I go with. So literally, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
3 planes.
I'd make sure you got something where you're in sort of more so shoulder extension.
Yeah.
Probably be single arm because you can align already. When I'm putting my hand here, if I try and do dual arm,
Yeah,
you can feel great. You can do a cross body like katana extension, although you get turned your arms are completely shit, completely bleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we said, overhead, pressing down, and then some form of compound press where you're going to probably get a decent amount of elbow flexion.
Yeah.
So either a dip, maybe a close grip press on a Smith or a machine, maybe even a decline press where you can get a lot of elbow flexion.
Decline press.
Yeah.
The hoist.
The hoist decline press feels really good
amazing
here.
here. Amazing here. Wow, best machine in the world. And then three worst for tries. So dumbbell.
Oh, we've just done that.
No,
Dumbbell.
we haven't. We didn't. We only did one.
Oh, the tricep kickback. Is that the only one we
Yeah,
said?
tricep kickback.
Close grip push up. Oh, we didn't say like a JM press. A JM press is a good exercise.
Yeah, JM press is pretty
Smith
good.
machine, JM, banded, but it's just too
I
much of a
feel
ball.
like there's more good ones and shoddy ones for tries. Like
Yeah.
the only one that springs to mind would be
Tell you what, a dumbbell, holding a dumbbell, overhead
dumbbell
extension,
extension.
because you're sort of restricted.
What about like a
close grip bar push down?
like a V bar. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, V bar. would
Close
be
grip
awful.
bar push down,
Or like a pro
dumbbell
push
overhead
down.
extension, and a tricep kickback.
Yeah. Sound. Jobs are good. And that's it. How long was that? That was a good. I enjoyed that video.
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, that
I
was
reckon
pretty decent.
about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
or something.
45 minutes. Right, guys. I'm not too sure if Sam. What I think we should do is that should be uploaded, and then Sam could cut that up into
Yeah, we'll
like every.
have
Like, that will
more
literally
content.
just be where we can just cut that up, and it'll be like 3 best for this, 3 best for that.
Yeah.
It might be like a 5-10
We
minute.
just absolutely rinse the content.
Yeah. So look out.
And just clickbait.
Yeah. Clickbait. That's all it is.
Make sure as well, guys. Please do give us. So these are new. Obviously, you'll see in the last one.
Yeah.
Although I say this is new, the last one these are the same because the last one that you recorded
We've actually
was like
broke
half an
100
hour ago.
subscribers.
Yeah, Reece checked. We're actually on 102 now.
Yeah. We were with the rate of growth.
Probably gone up again.
Maybe
And then this Spotify is the follows. So please do follow us on Spotify. Please subscribe on YouTube, and please
Follow us
do
on
share
TikTok,
as well.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Story tags are way more important. Like if you're at this point of the video, people don't understand how important story tags are.
Story
Story
tags
tags
of
are
the
so
YouTube
important.
as well,
Yeah.
because you can properly see it. On Spotify it's great because you'll have the logo,
Yeah.
but on YouTube it's cool because obviously you can
Because
see the new
obviously
studio.
we'll share that, so people that follow us will go, okay, if people are watching this, then clearly maybe it's okay. But then also like the people,
okay.
yeah, no, it's quite good. And then people that actually like, if you have 1,000 followers, that and you might have 100, 200, 300 people that view the story. If you're posting about it enough, people might go, okay, I might listen to these guys, and that is only going to help us. So genuinely, all the support is more than welcome. Yeah, more than welcomed. It means ever so much, and it's, if anything, the reason why we've done what we've done, and it's the reason why we're going to continue to level the podcast up. So, yeah, hopefully, guys, you enjoyed. If you have any questions or anything like that, obviously, like I said, drop us a message, and yeah, we'll leave it there. Catch you guys next week or next video.